Well, it's mid-October. It's actually Halloween today, and I wanted to show a couple of upgrades we've made to the exterior today. And we've done some things on the inside, which I think I'll show you next week. But anyway, this is a greenhouse in the snow kit. It's a geothermal greenhouse, and the first obvious thing, if you've seen any of my videos, is that we've added a retaining wall to this greenhouse. And the reason we've done that is that, well, first off, this kit, or this greenhouse, is actually built into the ground. This door is right at grade, right at the normal ground level before we started excavating. But we did a 4-foot cutout into the ground. It's actually about 4 feet on this west end. And because it slopes, it ends up being more like 6 feet on the east end. Let's see in the greenhouse. Drops down into the main growing area there. So anyway, we built the greenhouse on top of that 4-foot deep cutout, and then we backfilled around the perimeter of the greenhouse. And we did a pretty good job backfilling over here on the south end, and the slope kind of aided us a bit. And we're going to bring in some topsoil in the spring and actually plant some crops over here. But so the retaining wall, as you can see, kind of molds into the ground as the slope changes there. But as we move to the north side, where we really lost a lot of slope, you can see we built this retaining wall. It's about 5 feet out from the greenhouse, and as it moves, it slowly fades into the ground because, again, we get into this slope over here. And we wanted to build a retaining wall because we've really come up about 2.5 feet backfilling along this north end here. And as I'm walking into the slope here, you'll get a feel for how much slope we have, because over here, this big window well here, you can see I'm actually standing above the greenhouse here. My feet aren't, but so we built this window well, put some gravel in on top of a weed barrier, and that kind of shows you the slope. So the other thing we've done here is we've added some hog panels along the north wall. And why did we do that? My goal here is to do a live wall here on the north wall. I want to plant some vines, some fruit-bearing vines on this north wall. And what's unique about this greenhouse kit is that from about mid-March to mid-October, we actually get sunlight on the back side, or the north side of the greenhouse, because of this slope. You can see it's October 31st and we're still getting some sunlight. It's slowly, every day we're losing a little bit more. But so my thought is, as I pull up on this greenhouse, I just see this long aluminum metal north wall. I would love to have a live wall that has vine growing on it, and a fruit-bearing vine. I would love for everything on this greenhouse that's not a vent or the south window or a door to be covered in vines. Will it work? I don't know, but I'm going to try. So what we'll do is there's my well right there. We trenched a water line into the greenhouse. It's over kind of in this area. So we will pull off of the water line that's actually in the north grow bed on the inside of the greenhouse. We'll tee off of that line, put a timer on the end of that tee, and then we'll punch through just below grade here and have a separate water line that runs down throughout this grow bed, so that we have some irrigation, some sprinklers, and some drip going here. And my thought is this is a zone 6B, and we don't have a lot of vine options, but my thinking is a grape, maybe 4 or 5 different grapevines to start with here on this north wall, and then probably bring some raspberries over from my house and plant them into the bed here. So anyway, I'd love your feedback. If you have any suggestions, if you think it's a bad idea to put grapes on this north wall, or if you think a live wall is a bad idea here on this greenhouse, love to hear it. Love to hear your feedback. But this is this retaining wall I think turned out really well. We just used some rock from a local quarry, and I think it turned out really nice. That garbage can is covering some of the geothermal pipes that come out of the ground right there. Shade cloth we're leaving on until we get word of the first big snowstorm. And then we'll roll it up and bungee it up on the top of the greenhouse. That, of course, is part of the weather station there. This is a weather station from AccuRite. And this guy right here tells us not only the temperature, but the humidity, the wind direction, the wind speed, and it measures moisture as well. And the only other thing we've really been working on, we painted our shop building, retrimmed it. When we went in for a permit on this greenhouse, I had no idea we needed a permit, but we thought we'd check. They said, yeah, you need a permit. But they said, oh, and by the way, that structure right there has no permit. And that structure, I could tell when I bought this place, this structure was built in the 80s from some writing they have on the inside, so never permitted. So we spent about 6 months getting this building up to grade, mostly on adding or improving the electrical. And then we had to remove a paint booth. The previous owner was using it to paint cars. So it took us 6 months to get the permit on that building, but we've really cleaned it up, made it into a nice little building. It's a shop building. It'll complement this greenhouse really well, but that's how long it took us before they'd even give us a permit to start the greenhouse. So it's been a long project. We started construction in July of 2019 with the excavation, and still find ourselves tweaking here and there. But anyway, that's the update for now on the exterior changes we've got. I'll show you some updates on the inside next week. So that's it for now.